This is Larry Elder for Epoch Times. Some random thoughts about the trial of Jussie Smollett, or as Dave Chappelle calls him, Jussie Smollett.
Just afraid of being attacked. Happens to the best of us. Don't ever forget what happened to that French actor. You know what I'm talking about? Jussie Smollett. He's a very famous French actor.
The former Empire actor faces 6 felony counts of disorderly conduct. He reported that 2 masked men attacked him around 2 a.m. on a frigid January night in 2019, yelling racist and homophobic slurs, dousing him in bleach, putting a noose around his neck as he was returning home from a Subway shop. Prosecutors argue it was all a performance. They relied heavily on the testimony of 2 brothers who worked on the Empire set and said Smollett paid them $3,500 and told them where and how to carry out a fake attack.
You know what this is all about. It's this fake hate crime that he pulled, claiming that some Trump supporters mugged him, beat him up in Chicago. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when he was going to Subway to get him a tuna fish footlong. By the way, I think he ended up going home with the tuna fish footlong intact. So whatever happened to him did not damage his tuna fish footlong. Those things are expensive. So he claims that he was just walking down the street, minding his own business, and 2 white guys mugged him. Here's the problem. He right now is on trial. This man has not backed down, claims that he was mugged. I'm shocked he went through with this. There was a grand jury in Chicago, looked at this case, and found the whole thing was a hoax. The black police chief said the whole thing was a hoax, and this guy is standing by his story that he was actually mugged. And the 2 brothers who the police say helped to stage it testified against him. They've got video of a dry run with the 2 brothers and him faking the whole thing. They've got video of the brothers buying the rope that Jussie Smollett allegedly was hanged with, or allegedly was put around his neck by these brothers. They've got the receipt of a check, $3,500, that Smollett paid these guys. The whole thing, of course, is a farce.
Lead Chicago police detective Michael Thies spent most of the day on the witness stand, walking the jury through the evidence and pinpointing when Smollett went from victim to suspect. He says about 25 Chicago police officers spent more than 3,000 hours and collected 1,500 hours of surveillance video to help solve a vicious hate crime.
So what's going on here? Might be
When brothers Ola and Abel Osundairo were questioned about the attack, they told investigators they were paid to yell racial and homophobic slurs at Smollett and fake an attack. They even planned the hoax for days. Thies said detectives verified the brothers' story, backing it up with surveillance video and cell records.
And allegedly the reason Jussie Smollett did this is because he wanted more money from the Empire show that he was on, and he felt that if he got more publicity, became more famous, they give him more money, I guess. In any case, the whole thing clearly is a fraud. Now, what's interesting is that, as was the case with the Ahmaud Arbery jury, as was the case with the Kyle Rittenhouse jury, it turns out there's only one black person on this jury. Now, on CNN, on MSNBC, the woke people complained about the composition of the juries in connection with the 3 men accused of murdering Ahmaud Arbery and in connection with the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. But they're not saying anything about this. Nobody's complaining about the racial makeup of this jury, even though Chicago is a city that's 30% black. I'll tell you why. Everybody knows he's lying. Even O.J. Simpson knows he's lying. Even Al Sharpton knows he's lying. And something else. What gets me is the man took the stand in his own defense. There's a crime, you know, it's called perjury. And in Chicago, it's a class 3 felony eligible for punishment up to 5 years in jail. You might recall during the O.J. Simpson case, when Mark Fuhrman testified he hadn't used the N-word in 10 years, turned out he had. He was prosecuted for perjury. He pleaded no contest, ended up getting probation. Now, in the event that Jussie Smollett is found guilty, and I can't imagine that he would be found anything other than that, maybe one person might hang out the jury, which is, I suspect, what he's hoping. In the event that he's found guilty, he could also be prosecuted for perjury. And if he's found guilty for staging a hate crime, the likelihood is he'll just get probation. But staging hate crime and taking the stand in your own defense and perjury, that might very well land the man some time behind bars. So I really hope that his stunt, which almost caused racial violence in Chicago, if not around the country, ultimately lands this guy in jail. We shall see. I'm Larry Elder, and this has been the Larry Elder Show for Epic Times. I'll see you next time, honestly.